I will never hear the end of it, won't I? Where will we be? How did it all start? The great big bang. What I'll do here, and I need to be in the state of free association, so I'm guilty by free. How do you conjure or bring it up the multitude and multifaceted allegory of substance to be used when transmitting news for you to be mentally computed and understood? Words that stay form pictures in the mind. Good. The pictures and the picture assembly somewhat were defying or finding a universal construct to bring it all into one, and you have them crying over here, well, we are monkeys, and when we die, that's it. Well, coming from the RaRa perspective, we have to ask ourselves, gorgeous, from what levels of consciousness the operandus is on this planet. And it's not just one, it's a multitude of fracalitudes of concretism, opolistic, messianic, opportunistic return behavior of a patriarchal society that expects something that is promised after you transition. I think not. Do you know what you believe, or do you believe what you know? Both things are illusions from different coins. Now, I believe what I know is what I know. Does that make me knowledgeable? No. Do my beliefs define my character and the way I design my life? Yes. Mind you, this character is a vessel that we're currently using as the RaRa vessel. Open eyes, mind you, clearly, and look at our eyes, because when we infuse the character and we speak in a higher dimensional format to you, which happens on rare occasions, the performance gets lost in the plot. And the practicality of that, what the mission is, what we need to be transmitting to you, gets lost in the display of forgetfulness. And I am the one and I am the only Ra. And how many are there? I'm Rata, or Ra this, or Ra that. Names are words that stay defined by linearity of that timeline for which that word was created. Therefore, be fluid. It can mean everything, it can mean nothing. Or you have an opinion. If your opinion makes a tree grow, I listen. RaRa Collective, mind you, when you call us, we are the universal construct. So, this vessel here, Renee, Ra, was actually opted by choice from us, coming in with the trials and tribulations and all the kinks we had to figure out and maneuver our way to reverse engineer what is actually inside of this to bring forth, which is not an act. Why? Because it is real. It is a connection of what is. It was said before in many other videos that you might have heard. See, as we accessing the database of this here vessel, it's not a takeover or possession as the church has proclaimed many thousands of years ago. This is more likely a fluid intermingling of higher aspects of consciousness with the lower consciousness, if you will, meaning the cogwheels that click a little slower. There's a cogwheel coming up. Sound familiar? They'll help the other cogwheels to get a little bit more in gear. You understand? So anything, any slang, what one can be applied as an original construct. Remember that, you know? So accents are to accentuate the word display of the word wizardry that you are witnessing. This is to enchant your mind and to show you the capacity and the possibilities of the mind, of what you can bring forth while you are projecting. Now, higher consciousness connecting with consciousness being developed in the lower dimensional vessel is conflictuous. Belief systems, hardwired, like a hard line to your house. But if you want to dismantle it and you want to be swift with it, you have to rewrite circuitry and overwrite circuitry and look at damaged circuitry and find equations in the synaptic core, looking at the neuroplasticity of your brain to reprogram actually that what was lost. So you're human, you are hue as in a form of light, man as in manifest in the body, in the booty. And to keep the stream going, too many get lost in the construct, in the display of what there is to be done. So efficiently find program modalities for your vessel that you can use and apply that have an application that translate immediately into matter. Spirit to matter, spatter. Matter to spirit, spatter. Spitter, batter, batter. Word play, word display, whatever you want to use. The most common and key language that you're using as we modulate is English. Hence we talk in English. And to give you also clues when people say, where's the magic? How can I move objects? I want to levitate. These aspects are mere side effects resulting after you have demonstrated the maturity and releasing of codons, as in the SAS, self-aligning software within the body, that it is so, and it'll bring forth the changes that you require to see, but not for demonstration as a mere circus act, as many have displayed that in eons and past, and messiahs and gurus come and go. We're here literally with word chords and codons to elevate the consciousness and bring forth a programming aspect that elevates you into the higher spheres of thinking. Meaning at some point science will understand. We love that accent. We love those people, by the way. Every program modality has its beauty when modulated and moderated in the correct operational holographic dimensional aspect and perspective to where it needs to be. You don't understand that means if you have a seed, plant a seed. Wait, nourish the plant, watch the plant. Lesson is to be learned from what is already given by Creator as seed programming, divine master program. You can look into many papers that got lost, Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata, Nahamadi. Go further back than books that you know. Find monasteries in Tibet that let you know if you are divine enough and the seers see you fit to embark upon such an information. They'll let you in and the gateways will be revealed to you, and this will be coming into you from most unexpected angles to bring forth actually what needs to be brought into alignment, which is within yourself. This feels really good to be with you on this interesting transformative night for many. Understand the higher aspects of consciousness that you let in, the better it is for us to operate the vessels through you to do the task at hand. And as you know, the plumber comes to do the job of a plumber. The dentist does the job of a dentist. Let everybody in perspective for each his own do their job so we can get on with the task to raise the vibration. Raising the vibrations is not the trials and tribulations of the family you've been under or the circumstantial evidence that you've born into or the dysfunctional family matter program template that you have chosen for yourself to become that. It's not about that. The goal and the key that many want to know is, can you unlock switch and handle the emotional templates that are moderated by the technological aspect of, and it's, thank God for giving us this opportunity in this window, in this vessel, because Ra is very strict and very rigid in his belief system and wants to make sure the vessel is preserved and everything follows. And sometimes the walls are too high for us to come in and say, hey, hello, we still exist, we are here. And I tell people, yes, listen, Ra is a surname as in off the Ra, as in a cloud server. If you were with iCloud, then you are not the iCloud, you are just connected to the collective. So if you per se would have a Google account, does that make you Google? In a sense, it makes you part of that collective which you call Google. Therefore, the Ra or other beings. But make no mistake, the more original Ra you are, the less human belittling mediocre rights you'll have, because it just compromises the mission as in elevating the consciousness. The reason why we're so animated, we enjoy this vessel. It's a very unique tool, and you have yet to figure out that this is you're trying to develop AI. Look at what you have created, and you're trying to back engineer what already was created by divine programmers at a much higher level than you. Sounds cocky, but it's fact. There are higher level programming directors that run certain holograms. The ancients call them dreamweavers. Some call them Jonas Cohen. Go further back from the Devaconic plane. You know, there are mechanic planes, but there's also a Devaconic plane, which an order and a construct of how these spirits come in. But these spirits don't come in like, you can call on them like you would say, what? See, we have to go to this vessel's consciousness, which was half German, American, is German, French descent, rewiring past patterns, karmic, epigenetic, gene codes translated as in the sins of the father, the sins of the mother, not as in spirits. It's the malfunctional programming or program aspect of you that actually, you get basically whatever load your ancestors have left for you. That load you pick up, and you continue on with that load furthermore. Interesting concept. So we can assist by, as in higher mind. We say, let the higher mind in. Let the higher mind guide you. Let the higher mind merge with you, and it is seamless, and it is understood, and it's not about war, it's not about politics, or what you say, polished tricks. Our vessel loves wordplay, so we go with the wordplay. It's so interesting. Polished tricks, politics, the ticks, many of them, and they all have a tick, who's the best marketer, seller, triumphant, who has the most money to run the biggest campaign. They say, I will promise a lot of things, and you are wrapped up in this hamster wheel of nothingness where you seem to have a vote, where they make you believe that you have a vote, but this really, ask yourself, how do you really psychically connect with that situation and wheel it in and feel it in and feel it out and get your groove on and all of that? And you know what I'm saying? We can do all of that. No, we can go Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? We can go New York, you know what I'm saying? We can do all that. It is all accessible to whatever this vessel has studied, moderated, and learned to anchor in, so we can use it as a tool to make it more versatile and more activating and liberating for your mind to listen to what's actually going on, because it's for you, to get you breathing in the energy, being in the life force and presenting that. Look at our eyes. Do we look unconscious? Do we look like we are not aware of the situation or what's going on? We care very, 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 very deeply about you. These eyes, see, now we're moderating the eyes. When you run around like this, people would think you're insane, but this has to do with the level of consciousness that you're operating on. It seems to be spooky, but it has to do with also the level of photonic output and input. So we can speak to you and moderate. partially in a disguise, so you can say, okay, this is just a very animated and crazy character. You should be in acting. This is not about acting. This is not about Hollywood. This doesn't include a script. There's nothing written here. This is original. This is why actors will fail in this endeavor, the channel, because they're scripted. A channel is never scripted. We're unscripted. The only script is that what is the source that runs to, partially, if you want labels, different levels of circuitry, one that you know, and there are billions. I give you one, the Metatronic circuitry, which people want to make the gloomy and the doom and gloom and the doomsday prophecy, all concoctions of the mind, and the problem is of the BS, as in a belief system concocted by humans on this planet based on fear and not really actual facts. So there is no invasion. There will be never ever will be a false flag operation, as in seeing something in the sky, because quite frankly you do not have the technology, nor do you possess any means by going overboard with what you being observed by your future self, namely that you call alien. You alienated yourself from your higher consciousness, the higher aspect of your evolutionary construct, which makes you. So this is not about the vessel. This is not about what you think or believe in. This is about one thing and one thing only. You came to this planet to become who you truly are, the fastest way possible, and to be just you and just that. And all there is love, and all there ever was is love. Know that your vessels are extraterrestrial. Your science is behind, your science in some time, of course it sounds cocky, we'll find out. They are probably, give it a commercial limitation of 64 alterations in your DNA. If you had the means and not crude technology to read the junk DNA, you would read actually where the switches and the chromosome limitation were put in gear, including the minimization of the magnetic field dropping, chromosomes dropping, that's related. The Schumann resonance having to do with the circumference of the Earth. So many, in this time, we allow the vessel sometimes to mix that, so we step back and let it bleed in that the Schumann resonance has not changed. So anybody claiming that Schumann resonance dropping in and out, there is a constant frequency pattern going from the 1 over the 7.83 hertz that makes the Earth. If it wasn't so, you would be in trouble. Yes, indeed. So there are people measuring the Schumann resonance as is, and it is unchanged as of today. We go with that. Schumann resonance equates the circumference of this planet, and if Earth stays at the same size, then we will stay at the same size. See, we're already beginning to overload the vessel, so the vessel is coping and holding to hold the higher aspects of consciousness that is actually communicating with it. We're having slight headaches because it's buffer underrun, buffer overrun, the computation error. We have so much to share, and we wish to come in more often, but it is very, very difficult. We need to have a lot of space and a lot of time for this vessel, and a lot of bliss and a lot of love and a lot of accountability and integrity around this vessel, for the vessel finally find its peace, so it can say, I can let myself go, not be who I am, I'm the great Ra, and leave that personality in this corner for one moment to make sure that whatever is displayed in the most proper way. You catch my drift, okay? So this was a lot. So we pump the brakes, give the vessel a breather. This is not an easy task, mind you. We cannot do this every day. All the channels that are out there, respectfully, this is such a hard work to hold us with such high regards and such high intelligence to let that in and bring that forth. And the vessel is dyslexic, which makes it forever so ever more complicated to make sure to relay the message undisturbed, uninterrupted, in a most fluid way that you can actually see what is actually taking place right in front of your eyes. And that is the first miracle. that we can tap into infinite potential of intelligence displaying itself in the moment, in the now, allowing that high aspect of consciousness to come in, and we will speak seamless. We can do this for an hour, we can do this for 2 hours, but we're training the vessel. It's kind of like building the body for mental stamina. Oh, you're so strong, it's incredible, you're so strong. Oh, your chakras are aligned, oh my God. So if you, whatever aspects you want to bring in, it is to modulate the vessel, that the vessel can actually bounce with it, you know, and we're not so stiff and oh my God. Levgadia, Leviosa. No, Leviosa. Phenomenal movie concepts for bringing back the original magic. And why The Hobbit? Why? Why? Fool of a took. It's amazing craftsmanship of acting skill required to bring actually forth what is always here, never forgotten. They started it, we didn't start it. The line must be drawn here, this ends here. And mind you, this vessel has never been in any acting class, never been an actor. It is about channeling what you see and what you are in connection with in the moment, following your highest excitement. And if you have that, that's more like it. So follow your highest excitement. Follow that what excites you, and keep that excitement going. That excitement will lead you somewhere, and it will get you somewhere. There will be, how do you say? How do I word it? See, I'm having to adjust the vessel. Give us a moment. You have to understand also fasting is required to keep that vessel from functioning and actually in the higher aspects of the phenomenon as it takes place. Having the mind together as we intersect with that mind, bringing forward, because it's all discombobulated. Where is everybody? Basically, you know, Star Trek, the Earth Force, and then you have the Galactic Force, and they're coming together. So, okay, who's the captain now? I'm the captain now. And find out strategic point of maneuvers from point of neuroplasticity in your brain, what to maneuver, what synapses to fire, what synapses actually intervene in bringing in the disturbance and the distortion of where we don't want to go. So we have a lot of that online. So mind yourself, as in tips, what are you subscribing to? Because whatever you're subscribing to is a program modality that you're training yourself every day, over and over and over. Every movie that you watch from more than 5 minutes becomes hypnotic. And more than 25 to 35 minutes becomes hypnagogic, meaning your brain switches off what happens in reality and is convinced that what it is seeing is reality. That's why they serve food in the movies, makes you susceptible, makes you understand the concept and the plot quicker. More business, more profit, more minds too. So when you awake, you have your shields up and you know what not to eat when, knowing there is life sustenance for the body in resonance with the body, whatever the trend may be, follow the resonance and your blood type. But also, do not overproduce the things that you hear, and look at, does the vessel feel good? Is the vessel aggressive? What program modalities within the vessel have we not taken care of? And the best format is contemplation. The self-analysis, keep it running. It helps you to modify and modulate what is. And that is required to fire at a much higher momentum and a much higher speed in acquiring what you want. If it's material gains and I don't know, all partners in the world that you want, if that is your goal, good. If you want original family, cosmic connection, and the original love, the openness, and the reconnecting of the original angelic cluster groups as in collectives that help move the planet forward, then feel into it if that is resonant with you, if that makes sense for you, if we're having a conversation, and if we can go in our jolly old, good old days, good forward, onwards and upwards. And the baffled, flabbergasted onlooker monkey mind looks at you and says, oh, very creative, but cannot fathom somebody sniffed a different paint than this one. So the monkeys that decide to climb over the fence, come from the trees, and taste different fruits got smarter, while the others were left behind, still scratching their head, criticizing, running around. Monkey mind, monkey. The key to man, you know that. The mammal. Some mix, some don't mix. Typo negative, no resource, no connection to the mammalian, you understand? That's truth. Where the rest of them come from, science and no clue, no fear, no nothing. You know what I'm talking about, yeah, Babylon. Yeah, fire, yeah, straight up fire, burn. Yeah, you get the drift. You understand where this is going. So this is for your mind entertainment, mindgasm only. And take everything with a grain of salt. Be wakeful, be alert. Be with your brethren and see who's who, and be loving with them, and understand that we all have to work together. And when this makes sense, what happens to non-essential items will get dropped. Borders will get opened. Separation won't take place. Things will open even more. And future prediction is maybe in 500 years, maybe in 1,000 years, governments won't exist. There will be communities and community leaders and community clans. And a lot of systems will dissolve as you witness as they all at each other's throat, dissolving each other. And what do they say? Elect a clown, expect a circus. So it's amusing, very amusing to watch this, that you think this is really reality. Put a red tie on, a blue suit, and report something that you've seen or heard, and you really, really think this is reality. Don't subscribe to the okie doke, that's what we say. Move away. If statistics show you that where you are, it's not efficient for you and non-beneficial, move into an essential life corner of the self. Move out, move up, and branch out, and get bigger, and allow yourself to be, but everything there is, because we want this vessel to be that as well. Hoping we're leaving more Ra residue in Ra, so this can be more respectfully presented, and then we can take your answers and questions when we feel like it, because the vessel has to be appropriately be be in that state of interdimensional mind frame, so this can actually even take place. And this is the beginning, this is the first step. Very, very difficult, because we want to reach higher levels and bring forth, as in this grandiose vessel, manufacture things that can be felt and tangible, with backing evidence in the physical that we can make changes based on a fractal in this dimension that others can experience. And when that refuses to go away, there is no more argumentation, no free association. It all in the end makes sense. You start in a straight line, you end up in a bear. We start up in a bear, you end up in a straight line. We don't babysit, we don't look at what's left behind. We are here with loving arms coming forward if you come forward. So what we say, mates, is this is something. Let me say this, let me get all my chest before this video's over, know what I mean? So it's, if you take the lead, we match the efforts. Yeah, and that's not bonkers, that's real. So have a nice evening, and as this vessel would like to say, I see you with telepathy, most certainly, on the flip side, alright? Too right, mates.